What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. I'm gonna start doing things differently on the podcast. When I first started doing the podcast, I was mainly doing sports. Then I decided I want to kind of get more into reacts. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a 50-50 deal where I'm going to do sports in the morning and do a react in the afternoon and whatnot. So basically, I'll start with if there's any NBA scores, any NFL scores, I'll go over those. Might go over a little bit of the box scores, and then I'll probably pick a sports related topic, especially if it's one that's local. I'll definitely want to jump on that. So let's start with last night's scores in the NBA. Denver beat Brooklyn 108 to 102. We'll go over a little bit of the box scores right here. Michael Porter put up 28, 22 from Jokic with 17 rebounds and 10 assists, 2 steals, only 1 turnover. Murray put up 25. Yeah, if you get 25 from Murray, 22, 17, 10 from Jokic, and 28 and 9 from Porter Jr., it's going to be definitely hard as hell to beat the Denver Nuggets. Brooklyn Nets, Cameron Johnson, former Tar Heel, put up 14, 19 from Nick Claxton, 23 from Bridges. Bridges, this is the best thing that happened to Bridges' career, getting traded to Brooklyn. Bridges has been putting up 20-piece swing dinners every single night. Let me look up his averages right now. Yeah, last time I looked, he was averaging 18. Now he's averaging 19 a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. This is going to be the best thing that happens to Bridges' career. He's definitely going to reach that probably 22 to 23 point game mark, maybe even 25 if he stays on Brooklyn. Phoenix lost to OKC. Of course, Durant didn't play. And OKC, they don't really got nothing to lose at this point. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander put up 40-piece with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. You got 16 from Josh Giddey, 6 assists. Jalen Williams, 10, 20 from Lou Dort, 40. I mean, Gilliard. I always say his middle name wrong. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander been balling out this year. It's going to be interesting to see when they get Chet Holmgren back, what he's going to be like. And this Jalen, I think it's one of these Jalen Williams cats been balling out. Let me look up their numbers. Jalen Williams, 13 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for that rookie. Yeah, it's that other. They got 2 Jalen Williams, but it's the one that's playing center that's balling out. So, the Suns, Devin Booker put up 46, but that's the thing. They have no DeAndre Ayton. So without DeAndre Ayton and Kevin Durant, Chris Paul can't get you enough. 14 and 3 assists, 14 points, 3 assists. That's just not enough. All right, so next game, Atlanta lost to the Spurs. Atlanta shouldn't be losing to the Spurs. Atlanta literally took the Spurs' best player from last year in a trade. So Hunter gave you 12, 14 from Collins, 15 from Capella, 22 from DeJounte Murray, and Trae Young gave you 9 points on 4-15 shooting. Atlanta is probably the biggest disappointment this year in the East, for sure. The Spurs, Keldon Johnson gave you 29, and Devin Vassell gave you 29. They got 19 for Zach Collins. Vassell and Keldon Johnson are the top 2 scorers anyways. And they're pretty young. One's out of Florida State, one's out of Kentucky. 2 years for Vassell out of Florida State, and 3 years for Keldon Johnson out of Kentucky. Kentucky cats always be balling in the pros, yo. They always do good. And Zach Collins, he gave you 19 and 8. I think this is like his third, fourth year in the league. He can't stay healthy though. He can't stay healthy. So yeah, Spurs definitely shouldn't have beat Atlanta. Miami beat Detroit, which they should have. So 112 to 100 should have been that. Jimmy Butler gave you 26, 12 from Kevin Love. Tyler Hero gave you 19. Bam Adebayo gave you 22. Pistons, I mean, James Wiseman's starting to come around a little bit, 22 and 13. Killian Hayes is actually having a better year. And that's the thing, their best players hurt. Their best players out, Kay Cunningham. So they'll have Kay Cunningham back next year. They got a better Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, who's a rookie, James Wiseman, still young. Marvin Bagley's always playing for something because he's the number 2 pick, and he definitely should have been the number 2 pick. Kings screwed up with that one. I didn't know Cody Zeller was playing for Miami now. Okay, next game we got Houston lost to the Pelicans. 117 to 107. Pretty much got 14 out of Trey Murphy. Brandon Ingram's back. He gave you 26, 21 out of Jonas Valanciunas. Herbert Jones gave you 13. CJ McCollum, 26. And that's the thing. Even without Zion, they're still a good team if they got Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, Herbert Jones, and CJ McCollum. They get a healthy Zion back in the playoffs, man. It's interesting what they could do. The Rockets, they're the bums of the league. Kevin Porter Jr. put up 20. Jalen Green put up 40. But it's like meaningless stats right now at this point. Jabari Smith, I mean, he's not panning out to be. They definitely should have took Keegan Murray, I'm thinking, or somebody else later that was better. Okay, next game we got Milwaukee and Toronto. And we got 2 more to go through. We got Lakers, Portland, Orlando. Or not Lakers, Portland. Clippers, Portland, and Lakers, Orlando. Of course, Milwaukee won this game. Pascal Siakam put up 13, 22 from OG Anunoby. Jacob Poeltl put up 20. Fred VanVleet, 23. Scotty Barnes, 5. And he's starting to kind of decline out. What is he averaging? He's not having too good of a second season. Scotty Barnes isn't. Chris Middleton gave you 20. Giannis, 22. 26 from Lopez. 2 from Allen. Drew Holiday gave you 11 and 7 assists with 1 block, 1 steal, doing Drew-like things. Bobby Portis gave you 14. They're going to definitely be scary going into the playoffs. Healthy Milwaukee. Clippers beat Portland as they should right now. Clippers are actually they're like a head scratcher. Kawhi's semi-healthy right now. He gave you 24. Zubac gave you 14. Paul George, 29. Russell Westbrook gave you 9. And 9, 12 rebounds and 10 assists. Near triple-double. Russell Westbrook gets you close to that. You be fine. Eric Gordon came off the bench, gave you 20. They still got Terrence Mann behind him, Nicholas Batum, Mason Plumlee. They're going to be a pretty good team come playoff time. It's going to be scary and interesting to see what they can do. And, of course, you got the Lakers, Orlando. Lakers barely won because Austin Reeves came off the bench and had a career high with 35 in 30 minutes. D'Angelo Russell gave you 8 points and 6 assists, but he was a -8. Malik Beasley, -15. Anthony Davis only gave you 15 and 11. Yeah, this is. I don't know why people still believe in the Lakers. They hanging on their hat on the Lakers a little too much. And MVP right now, if I had to say MVP right now, I would have to say Joel Embiid. Even though Joker did have a good game last night, you know, I mean, when you put up 17 rebounds, shit ton of assists, and pretty much like damn near 20 points, you pretty much done your job. But Embiid is MVP right now as far as I'm concerned, because if Denver lost a few games that they probably shouldn't have lost. Bucks got the best record right now. You got Sixers, number 2 in the East, Celtics number 3. And Celtics is starting to fizzle out a little bit like the bottom of the Coke bottle when the Coke bottle gets all flat. Cleveland Cavaliers, they're really what Utah was when Donovan Mitchell was at Utah. That's the thing. I don't think Cavs have enough to get over the hump. They don't have enough. None of these. It's really between Milwaukee, Philly, and Celtics in the East. None of these other teams, I don't think, stand a chance. Cleveland, Knicks, Brooklyn, Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago. I don't think none of them stand a chance. You get in the West, you really don't know. You really don't know. Denver's number 1, Kings are number 2, but I'm not really sold on the Kings in playoff time. They could get bounced in the first round by whoever they play. Milwaukee is number 3, but they got too much in-house issues. Phoenix, are they going to get Durant back? If they don't, to be honest with you, man, it looks like it. To be honest with you, it looks like the Clippers really could come out the West this year. Clippers, I see probably Clippers versus Nuggets in the West because I'm not sold on the Kings. I don't know what Memphis really is going to do with this Ja Morant thing, and just they're still young and immature. Phoenix, unless they got Kevin Durant healthy, I'm not sold. Dallas, Kyrie and Luka could be scary playoff time. They could be scary as hell playoff time. Golden State, they can't win on the road this year. They can't win on the road, man. I can't be sold on Golden State coming out the West just because they won last year when they can't. What's their road record? They are 7-29 on the road. 7-29 on the road. I mean, like, let's look at that. Let's look at that. 7-29 on the road. Like, the Lakers are better on the road. The Timberwolves are better on the road. OKC is better. They are the worst road team in the West besides the Spurs and the Rockets. The Warriors are the worst road team in the West besides the Spurs and the Rockets. And you want me to believe that they're coming out the West? If I know anything about basketball, I can't do that. All right, let me get to NFL. I want to talk about my Panthers real quick. I haven't really talked about them on this podcast. I'd rather they would have went after Lamar Jackson. At least attempted to go after Lamar Jackson. They didn't. So, number 1 pick. We did a pick swap. We're giving away a first, a second, and we gave away our number 1 receiver. Yeah, we signed Thielen, but so we think a first-year quarterback and a veteran past his prime on a 3-year deal is going to help us win games. we're gonna win games that way. We're not gonna like. I don't even see the reason in signing Adam Thielen if we're gonna be picking a quarterback number one. And who they're picking, I don't know. Who cares? I don't think neither one of them is gonna instantly change the fame and fortune of the Carolina Panthers. I've only like Cam Newton when we drafted him number one. He didn't instantly change it. It started going up, but literally when he took the year he took it finally took us to the Super Bowl. The year after he career just started declining. I mean, we got one dominant season out of Cam Newton. I mean, dominant season, Super Bowl appearance, and he got dominated in the Super Bowl, and it has been downhill since. That's not enough for me to like, you know, be all in on this going picking a number one quarterback again. Like if we were getting Trevor Lawrence, I'd be hell yeah. If Trevor Lawrence was in this draft, I'd be like hell yeah. He played in South Carolina for Clemson, hell yeah. If Joe Burrow was in this draft, I'd be double hell yeah. I'd be like hell to the yeah, Joe Burrow. But I'm not seeing the Joe Burrow. I'm not seeing a Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence first year, I mean, all due respect, he had Urban Meyer who brought in Tim Tebow, who ain't played in the league for God knows how long. They might as well gave Colin Kaepernick a damn chance again, you know, on some team if they were trying to bring in Tim Tebow. And neither one of them should have had opportunities as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm not sold with what Carolina's doing. I'm confused. I don't think this is going to work. And like then if we get this quarterback and it doesn't pan out, like that's the thing. Quarterbacks only get 2 years. Why don't he get 2 years? Because they all want a shit ton of money. They all want a shit ton of money, even when they're not worth it. You know, all these quarterbacks and a lot of athletes in general are just highly overpaid. I was just watching a video on the worst NBA contracts. Each one like is just awful contracts. We have to stop paying people just because they did one good season. They had one good season, one good year, and we want to throw the whole farm at them, give them everything. We want to give them the liver, the kidney, the organs, the whole, throwing everything at them. Maybe we need to see 2 good years. Like, you know, a lot of some of these teams do. Like, you know, Baltimore apparently still not sold that Lamar Jackson can get them over the hump. And yes, there's probably collusion going on in the NFL by signing him. But okay, we gave guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson, who is unproven. And I'm thinking like, you know, owners are just like, yo, we can't be paying guaranteed money to unproven players. I think we literally need 2 years. And another thing I got throwing there is if these players want like always get paid more than the next guy, I gotta ask myself, do these cats want to be great? Do they want to win? I don't think they want to win because if they know anything about winning in the NFL or any sports league, that superstars got to take pay cuts. LeBron took a pay cut when he first went to go win a championship with Miami. He took the same amount as Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and there's no way in hell Chris Bosh should have been making as much as LeBron James on any NBA contract. There's no way, no how, you know, but he took a pay cut. You know, like whatchamacallit took a pay cut. Brady took pay cuts. Without him taking pay cuts, they ain't able to win like they win. Patrick Mahomes has took a pay cut, a discount, because he signed this long-term contract that the price is going to like literally go up almost every single year. And he signed a contract for 10 years, $500 million, you know, which that's probably not fully guaranteed. And to be honest with you, it should be. It should be. Patrick Mahomes. If anybody, that's another thing. Patrick Mahomes didn't get a fully guaranteed contract. And another thing is, no white player was the first to get the fully guaranteed contract in the NFL. No white player was so for people that like want to throw out the race card in the NFL and things of that nature, no white player was the first to get it. It was Deshaun Watson, who actually had 1 trillion sexual allegations on him, which is really bad for any corporate business or any big business to be attaching to their brand, So there's that too. It was just the Browns were desperate. So just because the Browns are desperate, the Cleveland Clowns were desperate, we can't assume every other team in the NFL has to be desperate. The Ravens ain't desperate. They got 2 Super Bowl championships in probably a decade, So, yeah, I don't know what the Panthers are doing, man. I really don't. I'm not sold on it. We probably going to suck for a long time. And if whatever quarterback we get doesn't pan out, then we got to go all over again and draft a whole nother quarterback and do it over again. And this Adam Thielen 3-year deal won't be worth it. Like, I honestly think I expected him to sign with a team that, like, actually was in, like, somebody like the Chiefs or something. Or maybe the Bills, because he did play with Stephon Diggs before. Or maybe the 49ers. Somebody that has a chance to possibly go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. But the fact that he's signing with a rebuilding team like Carolina, it should show you the market. He's apparently going for the most money. It should show you that the teams that were winning contention probably wasn't trying to give him a bunch of money. So, yeah, I'm not convinced with this whole Panthers move. I really think we should have went after Lamar Jackson. At least made an attempt. Show me an attempt. If Lamar declines to go to the Panthers or Baltimore declines to, let him go, then okay. Then I'm like, that's fine. We attempted it. Now let's try to trade up. But yeah, I'm not sold on what Carolina Panthers are doing, man. And before I go, I also want to talk about Michael Jordan selling the Hornets. It's good and it's bad. I think it's a good thing for like the sake of the Charlotte Hornets. But as far as inclusion and ownership, I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing unless he's selling it to somebody that's probably non-white, which I don't know if he is, and I probably doubt he is. Whoever buys it, they better do something, man. I'm sick and tired of this. Like Jordan, I don't know if he was picking, if he had final say so over all the players that they drafted, but whoever had final say so over these players we've drafted, we've had some of the worst draft picks ever. We are not the best talent evaluators, and if he did have the final say so, he wasn't a very good talent evaluator. And that's the thing. Everybody can't be all things. You can't be great at everything. Just because you're a great talent doesn't mean you're always a great talent evaluator. Like kind of like I say with hip hop, Dr. Dre is probably the best beat picker on the planet. Dr. Dre producing the album, you're gonna have a cat that's just picking the right beats for you all the time, But yeah, they need to do something in Charlotte, man. We need to win we need one, man. We need to win a Super Bowl. We need to win an NBA championship, or at least have us. We need to be competing, man. And we got LaMelo Ball. What are we going to do now that we got LaMelo Ball? Because LaMelo Ball is probably the biggest game-changing or franchise-changing player we've drafted. Because we drafted Larry Johnson at number 1. I mean, we had to draft Alonzo Mourning at number 2 or 3 before even we started winning with Larry Johnson, you know. And then we only had like Muggsy Bogues, which I love Muggsy, but Muggsy was probably too short to be a championship point guard. We had our other 3 players were just okay. They were just good, man. You know. But now that we got LaMelo Ball, what are we gonna do? And I think Jordan doesn't want I don't know if he wants the backlash of LaMelo Ball leaving Charlotte or what like that'll do. The fan base will really go in. We're already disgusted with him as an owner. You know, we're already disgusted because, you know, we know we're a small market and you got to draft in small markets to build a championship, but at least have us in a position to compete. And we should have been moved off of Gordon Hayward's contract. We probably should have tried to flip Terry Rozier for something. It definitely doesn't help that Miles Bridges has his legal issues. And that might be a good thing for PJ Walker, though, because he's actually had a pretty good year this year. So hopefully Bridges comes back, and Bridges could be Bridges. Walker could be better. LaMelo. Hopefully we get a high draft pick. If we could get at least get Scoot Henderson. We could be on to something. If we could at least get Scoot Henderson, and we get Victor Wembanyama, we're going to be popping Dizzle bottles. I'm telling you, we're going to be popping Dizzle bottles all throughout the Carolinas. And so, yeah. So once again, I'll thank you for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.